very good evening to our viewers. Thank you for joining us tonight. And on the evening review, my name is Taiwan Jabela, your host tonight. On the platform, we are hosting the newly elected Deputy President of NASA, that is the Namibia African Student Association, NASA, and which of course held its leadership elections just over the weekend. And Ms. Silas here is one of those that emerged, of course, in her case as Vice President. Thank you very much, Elisabeth, for joining us. Vice President, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, wonderful. Is this what were you going into that conference? Were you already in the leadership, or did you just avail yourself?
I was already in the leadership. I served part of the RNEC, but as the Deputy Secretary General by then, yes.
Okay, so you jumped one position and then you became VP.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Maybe if you can give us the overview of what transpired at the conference before we get into details.
Okay, so what transpired through the conference is usually annually we have a National Council of Advocates. Now, this National Council of Advocates is mostly attended by the NEC as well as the RNEC and also regional chairpersons.
RNEC is regional leadership?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so usually what happens at the National Council of Advocates is we have discussions, reviews, as well as amendments to resolutions.
Okay.
Yes.
Where there's, I suppose the agenda, like you're explaining, the agenda was not only to elect, but you also had some other agenda items. What are some of the key decisions that you can tell us that were taken there, some of the resolutions?
Okay, so some of the resolutions that were taken, okay, firstly, let me just state that there was a lot of resolutions that were taken. However, I'll just focus on the ones that stood out mostly because others still require more research. One of the resolutions that we had was the student accommodation, which the ANC sees still a crisis for students.
Yeah.
And they then suggested or called for implementation of accommodation, like students should at least be able to attend wherever they are for any course. So they should then please implement courses at different institutions, especially settled campuses, satellite campuses, so they don't have to travel to Windhoek, which is the center. Everybody flocks to Windhoek. So don't have to flock to Windhoek and then experience this accommodation crisis, but rather be accommodated wherever they are. And also the other suggestion was extension in hostels, because one of the reasons why students have this problem is because there isn't hostels available or enough places in hostels for them to stay there. So they are then forced to go and rent, which we all know that here in the city is quite very expensive, especially for students. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything on NASFAF? Your former president, Mr. Vihemba, he always spoke a lot about issues at NASFAF. Any resolutions, any thoughts on that?
Okay, so on NASFAF, the resolution that was taken before still stands, as we saw that we managed to help students that were not getting funding before, like that were also eligible to get. The ministry made provision for them to start getting the 10K, and we just hope that the minister still keeps the promise of increasing it to amount that every other student is getting, the 17K. Yes, so the resolution still stands, and we are just looking forward to the improvement of them getting the 17K.
Okay. So NASA is not in this game for too long. It's a pretty new organization, but seems to have a lot of fire under its belly. How serious do you get taken when you speak as an organization, especially in a country that has other student organizations like NANSO, SAN, and others?
Okay, we do get taken seriously most of the time, and that's because we have a very strong support system. We have a strong team behind us, and that really allows us to like being heard out there, and people do take us serious. I remember that when NASA started, it was just there in Kavango, but now it's also in the south. Me myself, I'm from the south, and Southern Campus, we have a lot of members that joined. So yes, it's a big thing. Yeah, we're really getting there.
Okay. Well, what separates you from others?
What separates us from others is that we are an NGO, but we still make things happen. We don't, okay, we are not politically affiliated with any political party, so we do our own thing. And yeah, I feel like that's what makes us different. Without funds from other funds from, yes, we still make it.
Who else was elected besides you?
Okay, so we have a new president. His name is Muzani, as well as a new spokesperson, as well as sports. Yeah, we had a lot of reshuffling. We also have a new research member.
Okay.
Yeah.
And all that was done strictly through voting, or was it people being picked for positions?
No, there was no such thing as speaking, because we have to go by the constitution. There should be an election. So all these things happen at the National Council of Advocates. There was an election that was held. If you were appointed and there was nobody that was going against you, then automatically the position became yours. Yeah.
Okay. Who attends that convention? How are delegates chosen?
Okay, so number one was the ARNEC, the national executives, as well as the regional chairpersons. This year we did it differently to say that, okay, we have members across the country that is also like, they want to see who are the leaders and who are the members that always attend this event. So we then made provision to say, okay, let's invite members across the country as well to attend this event. And we had across all regions, we had members that attended. Every member that wanted to attend the NC actually attended the NC. We provided the transport as well as the accommodation with the help of the NYC, of course. Yes.
Absolutely. And I mean, you're a student yourself.
Yes.
How was this year from a point of view of a student? I'm asking especially not only your personal experiences, but what kind of year did Namibian students have this year in terms of their welfare, in terms of the challenges and stuff?
Okay, okay, from the point of view of other students, the challenge that we faced this year was mostly like, if I graduate, where am I going? And that has been the topic. You hear people talking, okay, I'm graduating next year. Well, I get a job with this line that's already there with unemployment. Where am I going from here onwards? And I believe that's the fear of each and every student here in Namibia currently. Yeah.
Is it, yeah, I mean, that is a genuine concern. I wonder what NASA would be doing in that regard. Of course, your primary focus is the welfare of students, but when your members, I mean, you would also want your members to say when they leave the school grounds, the university grounds, that they become productive citizens through engagement of employment and stuff like that. What is your message particularly to the new leadership of the country that has just been elected now, because they were elected at the back of that promise, promising 500,000 jobs in the next 5 years? Massive if it were true, but your message to them?
Message is that please do something about it. It's a critical situation in the country. Currently should be the main focus. Unemployment rate is very high, and it's just getting worse. So please work towards that. Actually, I'm a very Okay, we are not politically affiliated, but I am a fan of the newly elected president because I see her capability in really doing something and making a change in this country. We also had a resolution at the NC with regarding to this, and that was pre-vocational subjects should at least be implemented at a very early stage of a learner, starting from grade 4. Okay, they do exist in the curriculum, but are they taken seriously? Because we have home ecology and design there, but those were subjects where a mathematical teacher would come in and say, can I have the learners for this period? It's not regarded as a very important subject. But then if it can be taken seriously, we know that at least if the learner doesn't make it to higher learning institution, they have skills they have well-equipped skills to do something for themselves. It's the same with the graduates. If they already picked up these skills from an early age, they won't have to wait until the government provides a job, but rather do something themselves because of the skills that they earn or learn from an early age. So pre-vocational subjects should be taken very seriously. Yeah.
Before we go for a short break, Elisabeth, talk to us about also the state of performance of Namibian learners in particular. We are in December now, and very soon the results will come out. And the past many years, I'm not going to say the past few years, the past many years have not produced required performances. Only a very tiny fraction of people actually end up going to university. Last year, I think 75% of people who sat for national exams did not pass, and that is just so scary. 75% is such a huge number. What are your thoughts as an association there on those kind of things?
Okay, as an association, we actually think it is quite very scary. I feel like not I personally, but as an association, we call for a curriculum reform because it's obvious that the curriculum is failing us. It's failing us as young people, it's failing us as the generation yet to come. So there needs to be made a curriculum reform that fits for the current situation of our country. Yes, that's basically the take of our association at the moment.
Absolutely. We go for a very short break and then return with Elisabeth Silas.
Santa has a festive surprise for you. Starting 2nd December, unwrap the magic of Christmas with our Advent calendar. Spot the Christmas globes in your favorite newspapers from Monday to Friday. Scan the QR code or WhatsApp hashtag Advent Calendar 24 to the Synergy chatbot. Find the Christmas globes on NTV. Or visit our Facebook pages for daily Advent doors from Monday to Saturday. Win daily prizes. Lucky winners will be contacted and Logistics Hub Namibia will deliver your prize. Merry Christmas from Santa and his proud prize sponsors.
As the holiday season draws near, ShopRite and Synergy Chatbot are delivering the Christmas spirit. Welcome at Santa's Wishlist. Follow the instructions to submit your drawing and letter to Santa. Step 1. Start by drawing a picture for Santa. And when you're done, just jot down a few details about yourself right next to it. Step 2. Scan the QR code and it will open up WhatsApp with a little message that says hashtag ShopRite Santa. Just send that message to Santa. Or if you like, you can also type hashtag ShopRite Santa into WhatsApp and send it to the number as indicated. Step 3. Follow the simple steps in the chatbot and submit your name and age. And most excitingly, the present you've picked from the list. Don't forget to include your physical address so Santa can find his way to you. Step 4. Once you've completed the previous steps, snap a photo of your drawing and your letter to Santa to submit your entry.
Now, remember, I'm looking forward to all the wonderful drawings and letters you'll be sending my way. See you soon, and keep spreading that holiday cheer. Ho, ho, ho!
The show continues with the Vice President of the National African Students Association, NASA, that is Elisabeth Silas. Now, what is impressive, I'm reading an article here about the outcome of your conference, and I think what is impressive is the diversity of your leadership. It says here that Muzani, like you mentioned, who is from the Rundu campus of UNAM, is the president now. You are from UNAM Southern Campus, and you are vice president of the union, of the association rather. And then we have Claudia Valombola as the secretary general. She is from IUM in Swakopmund, and then deputized by Rose Kamea from Rundu campus. And then the treasurer is Manfred Haingura, also from Rundu, but you have Olavi Lazarus from the UNAM campus, Hifikepunye Pamba campus in the north, as the new academic officer for higher education, alongside Simazena Mungomba from Katima Mulilo campus. That is a very nice outcome. Are you sure it's purely coincidental, or you guys were picking people?
No, it was purely the right way. We did it the right way.
Okay.
Yeah, because we are serving different students from different institutions.
Yes.
So we had to make sure that there is diversity amongst us.
Yeah.
Each institution needs to be represented as well. That's why we have IUM, we have UNAM. Yeah, and it's working, because now we are not just having concerns from what the UNAM students are experiencing, but IUM as well. We have NAST as well, and it's from different corners of the country. Yes.
I mean, do you confine your membership to university students only, or who qualifies to be a NASA member?
Okay, so we have full-time member, and we have a what? We're full-time and
Part-time?
yeah, part-time member. So the full-times is for students. It's only students that can be a full-time member. Part-time member is like when you graduate and you are a member of NASA. It doesn't necessarily mean that, okay, you are done with NASA now. If you still want to be part of NASA, then you take the part-time NASA member, yeah. So even after you are done, you can still be a NASA member. It's just you have full-time and part-time. Part-time is now eligible for those ones that are no more students, but still want to be part of the association, and probably also help and make donations here and there, as we are actually an NGO. So, yes.
Yeah. How did you get into student politics?
Okay, so student politics, it started at a very young age, started at debating clubs at high school, started as a prefect at primary school, and then coming to Southern Campus, I was also part of or still am part of the parliament, because I was serving as the Secretary General for the environmental club that's there. So it became part of me, basically, yeah.
Okay. And beyond NASA, are you eyeing actual politics like others? I see that former members of NANSO and all these other organizations, after school, they weave themselves into the mainstream politics. Is that your dream also?
Most definitely my dream. I also, like, apart from being a NASA member, I'm also newly elected Parliament Secretary General for the Southern Campus. I believe that's one step to there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
What would you do in the political space when you eventually there? Because you seem to have already put your mind to it, and when you do it means eventually you'll get there. But what kind of leadership will you bring along?
Leadership of inclusivity, leadership of putting your differences aside and work together, because at the end of the day, it's not about you as an individual, but about the people that you are serving. So if there's a need of holding hands together with other leaders to make things possible, then that's the way to go for it. I believe that's the type of leader that I will be, putting differences aside and going for the good of our people at the end of the day.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts on? I mean, you are from the south, but you're Oshuambo origins. That diversity of people. I mean, I was looking the other time at police recruitment, and there were a lot of Vambu names from the south on the list of successful or the shortlisted candidates, and there was this uproar about how can so many Oshuambo surnames be on the Karas or Hardap regions, especially Karas at the time. What do you consider yourself as? I'm asking this question because you spoke about inclusivity, and everybody thinks that if my name is Simasiku, then I must only be recruited in Zambezi, but I might be a Simasiku from Maranyamund originally.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that?
Okay, so when it comes to Clara's region, it's quite very diverse there. And you find a lot of mixtures. You find the child that has a parent of both a Nama and a Vambu, and then the child results in having a Vambu surname. Doesn't necessarily mean that this child is just fully from the north, came to the south, and now they're getting all these privileges. No, there are a lot of actually different tribes there that are mixed. Ne? And it's not about, it's just the Vambus that are there. Those Vambus, they are originally from the south.
Yeah.
And if they apply for the post, they are eligible to qualify if they meet the requirements. Yes. So I feel like as a nation, we should just be more open-minded and just know that, okay, we're not just Vambu stateside. We have Namas with Vambu surname, we have Hereros with Vambu surnames. That's because of the mixture. That's because of the diversity that exists. That's because Namibia is a country of diversity.
Yeah.
And yes.
Yeah.
So, like, people still need to look at that, and it's not the way it seems. I would say yes, it's quite different. I want people to sometime maybe just take a bus from Windhoek, take them to Keetmans, and they will see the diversity that's there. Yes.
Absolutely. So, still on students, I mean, let's look at young people also, because when I see a lot of student organizations in the country, I mean that diversity is important also, because I suppose each one has its own ideologies and approach, and we need all of those. But in your divisions as young people, it becomes also sometimes the authorities feel that it's better that way. It's like a divide and rule sort of situation where you feel, okay, when they are divided like that, this is NASA, this is NASO, this is SUN, this is whatever, it's better that way because they are not collaborating, they are working in silos, and therefore we can tackle them one by one. But if you were one massive movement, united in your strength, then your voice will even be louder. But what do you think about that situation? Do you think, for example, that there must be some synergies? You can be different organizations, but some platforms where all of you can meet and discuss and debate and have a common position on certain things, even if you will not all be on the same issue all the time.
Yes, most definitely. The moment I stepped into office as a deputy president, when we had our first meeting, that was the first agenda point that I sent through to our Secretary General.
Yeah.
And that agenda point was collaborating with other student associations for the betterment of the students. And I was quite surprised that my national executives, they actually had the same thought in mind. We have to work together. I believe that if we stand together, the more impact we can have, the more changes that we can bring for our students. So platforms like that should really be created. NASA at the moment is very much quite open to collaborating with any other student association. Are they? Is the question. If they are, then why not?
Yeah.
Yes. And yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
As we draw to a close, Elisabeth, let's talk about the state of universities. Are universities producing enough quality that is needed in the markets? Do you guys feel that you are ready to enter? You are soon, you're going to be a teacher soon. Are you a ready, cooked, properly cooked teacher that can deliver? And I'm not just talking about you. Really, the general point is, are universities still relevant? Some people are talking about, what is the point of being at university if in any case I'll just be unemployed after that and whatnot? I might as well just do my hustles on the side or whatever. If you can perhaps emphasize the importance of still going to school.
Yeah. I do believe that the universities are producing quality graduates, but probably also in implementation of a lifelong learning would do, so that if a teacher graduates and stay low for like 4 years, maybe they can go for the lifelong program before they are sent to schools, because do they still really have the quality of a teacher after laying low for 4 years? So implementations such as those should be in place, so that even if you get a job after 5 years, not just as a teacher, but as a nurse, you have to go and check, okay, am I still equipped with the necessary skills to work in this field? Do I still know what I have to know? Do I still know how to make a lesson plan? Do I still know how to inject properly? Yes, all those things. But quality, definitely. There is quality teachers being produced out there, quality nurses, quality engineers, but just how do you keep them within, you know, that skill range? How do you keep them still productive even after 5 years? Because you cannot lay low for like 7 years and then you go to you get a job, you go to school. Will you really be as effective as you were as a fresh graduate? Yeah.
Absolutely. So in your leadership positions, those of you who were elected this week, how long is your term?
So it's until the next National Council of Advocates, which will take place next year.
So it's just a 1 year thing. Then it's not like a 5-year term or 3-year term. It's just
actually correction.
Yeah.
I'd like to correct that. It's for 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it's for 2 years. So after 2 years, the next National Council of Advocates, that's when, new members will be elected.
Yeah. So what are we going to see in those 2 years from NASA?
What are you expecting?
What are we going to see?
Yeah, most definitely going to see a lot of changes in the student life, because NASA is working. I have a strong team that's still active on the groups at 12 a.m. and say, I saw this article. What are your inputs on this? How can we solve this? So NASA is definitely working hard, and I cannot say, but you will see the results of our association. We are definitely pulling this off. And with me in office and with my new elected, I know that we can pull it off and we'll make history.
Absolutely. Ms. Silas, thank you for coming to the platform.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Vice President of the National African Students Association, NASA, Elisabeth Silas, who, alongside others, were elected over the weekend in Oshiwarongo, and they are here to tell us their plans for the future. I hope we are going to watch them together track down their support, their performance during that time. Thank you for watching.